Hey guys, my name is Divya. I'm a doctor and I've held a management role with a healthcare company for a while. I've been doing a series of videos on my channel to help people out in the community with certification exams, other exams, how to study tips, and now we're on the series of interviews. So we are talking about how to do or perform well on an interview and what the interviewer is really looking for. So in my role, I've conducted tons and dozens of interviews because I've just been on many panels and I've interviewed a lot of people, and sometimes I just want to say that it's a really small thing that we can make a change to and actually crack an interview. So today we're going to discuss how to combat nervousness during an interview, and let's get right into it. I have 5 tips today. 5 tips to discuss as to how you can beat being nervous while you're conducting an interview. Rather, I should say while you're interviewing with someone. Okay, so my tip number 1. Ensure that you know the interviewer. So whenever the recruiter sets up your interview with a panel or with one person in a company, please know that who the person is. Please know the name of the person. That way you can look the person up on social media and other websites or the company's website. And I think it gives you a real edge because it tells you the background of the interviewer, and you can tailor your answers so that you can strike a chord, a vibe with the interviewer. If it's more than one person on the panel, ensure you look everybody up and know their background. It will really help you, and I think more than half the preparation is already done. My tip number 2, swap roles. Think about putting yourself in the other person's shoes. If you were interviewing for this position, then what would you ask the candidate? I think it's a very good way to prepare because it would give you a peek into your own thoughts and what you will be asked. You are an expert in your field. That's why they called you for an interview. So you might as well think about what the right questions would be, because more than likely you'll be right. My tip number 3, self-reflect. So this is what I mean by self-reflect, guys. Let me just explain myself. There's really no point in being nervous. You are the SME, you have expertise in your field, they really want you and they really called you for an interview after looking at your resume, so there's really no need to be nervous. More than likely, you're going to be interviewing with your reporting manager, your future reporting manager. So you have more expertise in your area than that manager, because that manager is probably not just doing SME work, he or she is also doing managerial work. So I think you probably have more command over the subject, over a particular topic than he or she does. Now, if there's also an SME on the panel interviewing you, I understand that you'd feel, oh my God, I shouldn't sound silly or stupid. And that happens to everybody, right? But that's okay. Just prepare a little bit about all the technical questions or all the expert-based questions. If you're a programmer doing C#, ensure you look up the common questions that are asked, and also prepare a little bit about what you're actually doing in your current job. I think if we do all of that, then you're well set. Any SME, any manager would probably look at you and say, wow, because that's what they really want to do. When someone calls you for an interview and they're spending all this time with you, more than likely they want to hire you. So think about that. My tip number 4. So this is my best and my weirdest tip for this video, but I think that it actually works and it hasn't really been covered in other videos. Tip number 4 is practice in front of the mirror. Okay, I know this sounds odd, but it's a nice way to know what you sound like and what you look like while you're interviewing with someone. So if you practice in front of the mirror with some answers or some questions that are commonly asked during an interview, I think you'll be really set. One of the questions is, what does your project entail? What are you currently working on? You know, a particular area where you were in a fix or something went wrong and you as the lead or the subject matter expertise had to fix something. These are common questions asked Think about what you would like to answer and ensure that you practice and review in front of the mirror. It will give you an excellent idea about the things that you want to say. You don't have to memorize everything. You just have to get an idea of certain things you'd want to present. And more than likely, you won't be able to say everything during an interview because there's just never enough time, and it's not something that's pre-recorded or scripted. It's just something where you go with the flow and you answer the questions accordingly. But practicing in front of the mirror gives you a very good idea of the things that you want to say, gather your thoughts, and know what you look like and sound like during an interview. Try it. I know it's a weird tip, but let me know how it goes in the comment section below. My tip number 5. If you falter a little bit during an interview, that's totally fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. Every interviewer knows what nervousness is and that we all falter a little bit during an interview. Hey, it's an interview, right? These things happen. You talk too quickly, you sound nervous, you say one thing instead of another. But as long as it's the 80-20 rule, you said 80% of the things right, you did 80% of the things right, and just 20% here or there, I think you'll be just fine. The people interviewing have had the experience to know and to ignore certain little mistakes because it really does not matter in the long run. I have a bonus tip, guys, and I think it's a good one. Whenever you're interviewing at a place, try to reach a little bit early. If you reach about 15 minutes early, use the restroom, maybe brush through your hair a little bit, I think it would help. These things help in combating nervousness because the longer time you spend in a particular environment, the more familiar you get with it. You get familiar with the doors, the cubicles, the room, and it really puts you at ease while you're talking, and this is what you want. So get there early, use the restroom, wash your hands, we're in the middle of a pandemic, groom yourself a little bit, and then go into the meeting room or the interviewing room. And then you're just set. So here it was, guys, my 5 tips plus a bonus tip to combat nervousness and to never feel nervous during an interview. Just one thing that I'd like to say before I wrap up this particular video, it's really okay to feel nervous. A little bit of nervousness, a little bit of stress is what we call good stress. And that is totally fine because that really just makes you do better or perform better. So we can keep all these tips in mind, and if we're still a tad bit nervous, that's okay too. Just go for it and you'll be just fine. Once again, I do hope that my videos are helping you. If they are, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.